Hello, this is Nikki Yu, also known as Faces Trader, and you're watching Awesome10X Philippine Market Deep Dive. In today's deep dive, we're going to discuss Puregold, Philippines' largest supermarket, and let's discuss by watching a 6-minute video first.
What was once a small grocery store in Mandaluyong, a little over 20 years ago, is now one of the largest supermarket chains in the Philippines with over 400 stores nationwide. Pure Gold continues to grow and expand its footprint each year, all while staying true to its vision of being the most customer-oriented hypermart, offering one-stop shopping convenience and only the best value for customers. As we move closer to our goal of 500 stores nationwide, we remain committed to our company's core values as an enterprise of service for the people and for communities across the country. This sense of compassion, or malasakit, is even more vital in these times given the difficulties of the global pandemic. Working together, we have achieved much in the past year, and we look forward to even more success as we continue to adapt to the ever-changing business environment. The macroeconomic environment in 2020 was characterized by unprecedented challenges resulting from strict containment measures and a steep decline in private consumption. Our own operations did not escape COVID-19's ill effects, especially since Pure Gold caters to socioeconomic segments most affected by the pandemic. Through timely and effective adjustments designed to address drastic changes in consumer demands, however, the company fared exceptionally well throughout the year compared to retail industry standards. We continued to focus on supporting Tindahan Yaling Puring members and other end users as we further strengthen our online presence. The company also made operations strategies more responsive to consumer needs through out-of-store activities and e-commerce initiatives, increasing supply chain efficiency and maintaining strong relationships with suppliers and trade partners. As a result, Pure Gold's consolidated net sales grew by 14.1 billion pesos or 9.2% to 168.6 billion pesos in 2020. Net income also rose 19.1% to 8.1 billion pesos compared to 6.8 billion pesos in the previous year. The company ended the year with total assets increasing 21.1% to 131.6 billion pesos. Here are some highlights of our financial performance for the period. Pure Gold ended 2020 with a strong financial position. Our cash flows also reflected increases for the year. In spite of the pandemic, Pure Gold opened 30 new organic stores, 2 SNR stores, 8 SNR New York-style pizza QSRs in 2020, bringing its overall store total to 469. Of these operating stores, 403 are Pure Gold branches with 20 SNR membership shopping warehouses and 46 SNR New York-style quick-service restaurants. In all these achievements, our people have made the difference with their hard work, dedication, and commitment to excellent customer service amidst challenging circumstances. Pure Gold has adapted well to today's business environment and will continue to remain a step ahead with the help of its team's shared sense of purpose, strong sense of identity, and a performance culture of excellence that has made the business thrive in the new normal. While we expect the landscape to remain challenging, with consumer spending still subdued, Pure Gold's innovations and investments in new systems will continue to drive the organization forward. Along with a consistent focus on optimizing productivity, the company continues to support and expand the reach of its online and delivery services as well as Pure Gold's mobile app. Fondly called Sally, short for Shopping Ally, our mobile app has helped countless customers by allowing shoppers to purchase products conveniently through their smartphones. Pure Gold now maintains a solid presence in the digital space through technology-based solutions, partnerships with delivery service apps, and our own online channels, which include Facebook and YouTube, giving the company a broader reach by which to engage shoppers. One of our missions is to strive to promote the personal and professional development of our employees. In order to guarantee their welfare and well-being, our Human Resources Group continues to implement the following programs and regularly creates new activities to adapt to the changing workplace requirements brought about by the pandemic. Puregold is also recognized as one of the Philippines' best companies to work for in 2020, awarded by HR Asia every year since 2018. The opening of small format and mini-mart stores remain a focus area as we align our products and services with the evolving needs of customers. We recognize the importance of staying future-ready as we continue to develop online operations that have already exceeded customer expectations through easy, safe, and convenient online transactions that make customers' lives easier on a daily basis. Puregold will also prioritize rapid expansion and target exponential growth by strengthening house brands, ensuring superior customer service, and pairing well-established customer and shopper programs with e-commerce channels and other new ways of reaching shoppers. These are challenging times, but we push ahead with excitement and optimism as we invest more in our established and successful brands to sustain growth and maintain our leadership position in the long term.
That 6-minute video contains a lot of information that I want to segment one by one, but also take note about the achievements that Puregold has done, not just for that year of 2020, but what it has done for almost 10 years. So Puregold Price Club, this is actually their first quarter 2021 company presentation. It was released this May. You know that Puregold contains social economic segments. You've got the upper class segment, what mostly in the SNR membership shopping model. It's a class A and B upper C segment. Usually they buy imported goods and large size SKUs. You've also got Puregold, which is really the bulk 400 stores right now, catering to the low income and low middle income customers, lower C, D, and E market. In fact, investing in Puregold is actually a proxy for the entire Philippines consumer spending for each household. If each household can spend 10,000 pesos on grocery shopping, a big market share is actually captured by Puregold membership shopping and SNR Puregold stores and membership shopping SNR. So you are seeing that the sari-sari stores actually are using Puregold's Tindahan ni Aling Puring, and it's very popular for small size SKUs, selling units. So it is a company that has been with us for more than 22 years, 23 years. Take note that since 1998, the very first store was actually the one in Shaw, that was Puregold Shaw. It opened in Mandaluyong, Metro Manila. That was the very first format. They launched immediately 3 stores 3 years after. Then another 5 years, they quintupled from 3 to 16, and they kept on doubling in size. 16 to 30, 30 to 64, 64 to 102, 102 to 215, 300, 360, 400, 440, 470. By 2021, they're on track to hit 500 store rollout. And you'll notice the following things. In 22 years, they've already been recognized as the market leader in terms of the largest hypermarket and supermarket retailer in the Philippines in terms of net sales. As long as the store count continues to increase all over Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, we are seeing that it's able to actually capture store sales growth. And their expansion has happened not simply by a rollout, but by also acquisitions. So in 2011, they actually opened 38 new Puregold stores. 2012, they actually opened 31 new Puregold stores and acquired Parco Supermarkets with 19 stores and SNR Warehouse Membership Shopping Club with 6 stores. That was mostly 2012. 2012 also marked their IPO, and continuing their new stores rollout, they acquired more companies by buying Company E in 2013, Any Bodega 9 stores, and Budget Lane 8 stores. And they also bought B&W's supermarket acquisition in 2017. You're noticing here that they've expanded in 2020, a strong movement in the e-commerce. We're gonna see that. You're seeing the following. So far, their pillars of growth are their moat. They want to protect their supply chain. They have been revising their inventories for food preparation and health sanitation. They've increased inventory levels because of the lockdown. You might have a supply chain disruption, and some raw materials might be difficult to source. They also develop more supplies in provincial areas, so they have more local suppliers. They've been improving logistics end to end. As you know, in retail, delivery is important, and with a bigger distribution center for SNR, more cross-dock facilities, it becomes like a warehouse so that they could actually cater to all the needs of shoppers and building additional capacity for store-to-shopper delivery. Another growth pillar is, of course, they reactivated their coverage of sari-sari stores. They opened up a lot of new accounts and a lot of e-commerce investments. That is your shopping ally, Sally. Margin improvement, they've been beginning to have more streamlined processes through digitization. They've got their own house brands. So that means it's a Puregold OEM. So it's basically a Puregold branded good. Smart pricing strategy, increased marketing activation and joint business plans, and more supplier supports. Guys, for those who have to understand, the meaning of house brands is similar to what SM Bonus has done, which is SM Bonus Water, SM Bonus Sugar, basically commoditizing a lot of the products and making it your own. So that would actually increase the margin of Puregold. Store expansion, 30 to 40 new Puregold stores and 2 SNR warehouse clubs. You are seeing that the company's growth has been still good, actually 9% growth in a year in a pandemic wherein a lot of household expenditures have really gone down is a remarkable feat. So take a look. Net sales is lower this quarter, 7.9%. Gross profit, however, continued to grow 4% because their gross profit margin improved to 19.1%. EBIT increased by 11%. Operating margin is at 8.8%. Net income actually increased by 14.6% because net profit margin grew to 5.4%, with SNR's net margin now at 9.4% and Puregold's net margin at 3.8%. With opening of stores, they're now operating 479 stores in first quarter 2021 with a consolidated net selling area of about 600,000 square meters. Take a look at this format. Puregold is 400 stores or 72% of their sales. SNR is 28% or approximately, so that's their sales revenue breakdown. In terms of gross profit, you are seeing that despite the number of SNR, because of the higher gross profits of about, you could see that the gross profit margin here is huge at 24%. This SNR is able to generate 2.6 billion pesos despite only 40 stores. Also take note that why it's possible is it the average net ticket size is on an upper ABC class segment, and you can actually charge a higher margin. They're not that price sensitive, and the average net ticket sales of these people every time they shop is roughly $80 or about 4,461 pesos. The total traffic you're seeing is 2.5 million, or essentially upper class segment of the Philippines. Of course, the more that the Filipinos can spend, the more Filipinos can actually graduate from poverty line, the better off for Puregold. So in essence, Puregold is an economic barometer of every household in the Philippines. The more that the Filipinos have money in their pockets, the more they're likely to spend on food and higher ticket spends going from Puregold actually graduating to SNR. So the goal is really to get higher growth in traffic in SNR so that Puregold can actually generate more profits on the next 10 years. You're seeing traffic growth. In fairness, the middle class or the lower class is actually still growing. The average net ticket growth was 34%, meaning it went from 750 pesos to about 1,000 pesos for Pure Gold. You're seeing that although net traffic growth was smaller, the average net ticket size grew, which made their sales growth, although negative 13%, still manageable. Membership shopping here grew 12% to offset. And then this is something that you have to understand. Same store net sales growth continued to grow in the higher echelons of the middle class to the upper class segment because they are less affected by COVID versus, of course, the lower class segment, which actually saw their net sales decline to about 15%. Traffic declines negative 37%. So what it only means is that they are able to shop less frequently, but actually they're spending more even if less shopping. Total though, because the visitations to Pure Gold is smaller in terms of traffic, the average spent in Pure Gold was actually less. So people are actually going out less. Therefore, when they're spending in Pure Gold, they're actually spending higher in whenever they spend. Okay, here we're seeing that foot traffic remained high in terms of SNR sales, and average net ticket growth continued to grow. Traffic continued to grow. Breakdown of stores. Let's take a look at this. First quarter 2021, the hypermarkets of Pure Gold is 252. Supermarkets is 100. The extra Pure Gold is smaller, which is 61. SNR, which is the largest warehouse club, is 20 stores. SNR is QSR, or these pizza chains, small fast food related stuff, 46 stores. Okay, so total of 479. In terms of geographic breakdown, you've got almost a lot is actually in the vicinity of Luzon. Metro Manila is 138, North Luzon is 112, South Luzon is 114. Small count in Visayas, 36, Mindanao is small count, 13. So I think this has to do with the affluence of Luzon versus Visayas and Mindanao, which generated the bulk of the strategy to really be huge in Luzon rather than concentrating in Visayas and Mindanao. Net selling area of stores continues to grow. And then average ticket size is the more important part here. So you're seeing that Pure Gold consequently has been rising from average of 700 pesos 2019 to as much as 1,000 pesos. Over time, though, we are supposed to see Pure Gold rise in tandem with SNR, hopefully 1.3, 1.4, to see that Pure Gold sales will continue to grow. All right, so these are the Luzon area for your information. And this is the general Metro Manila area. Okay, North Luzon, Metro Manila, South Luzon. In terms of financial performance, as you've heard, 168 billion pesos in 2020, the very first time. That's actually a very important number, Ilocos, easy to remember. 168 billion in 2020. Although first quarter 2021 sales are down, we'd assume that for the year of 2021, they could still maintain that 170 to 180 billion. And margins were actually very good. So you could see the improvement in gross margin, very strong at 20%, nearing 19%, mostly because of SNR sales. So it was really SNR that hit the offset on a decline in Pure Gold sales. What is wonderful with these numbers is that, well, you know that almost everyone in the Philippines has to spend on food. In terms of significance of a household salary, a monthly salary, reading the news, 44% actually in most Filipino households, average Filipino households, is spent on food. So definitely that gives you resiliency and high cash flow generation for cash dividend plays and profitability for Pure Gold. This is why even in a pandemic, your operating income actually continued to grow about 3 billion. So it's decent. It actually shows to you similar to inflation growth in the Philippines in terms of food and expenditures. So that growth of 8 billion pesos can continue to grow still at 8 billion pesos next year, and actually can even grow 8.8 billion if more and more shoppers in SNR will actually spend better. Financial performance of Pure Gold is also a great thing. You can see that While people thought that everybody has lost jobs, at least that it's able, you'd assume that household expenditures would have gotten a huge hit in pure gold. So far, though, we don't see that huge decline. Revenues were down, but it's not like too huge of a drop. So this is 31 billion in first quarter 2020, 27 billion, still actually within the 100 to 120 billion pesos in terms of sales for pure gold. So actually not that bad in terms of segments. This is, of course, how huge SNR has been. The more affluent families are actually spending 45 billion pesos. So you're seeing that this is where the growth trajectory of pure gold is and where the demands of e-commerce is largely going to be put into use. So we'll see that the more capable that pure gold can handle e-commerce and delivery, you'll see actually relatively higher sales for SNR. So I think that financial performance so far so good. You're seeing that pure gold continues to have so much inventory there because of supply disruption that they're actually able to have similar payments and avail continued discounts to all their suppliers, primarily because they've got a lot of cash. In terms of capex guidance, they're still spending about 4 billion pesos or about half of their income of 8 billion pesos. 2 billion of that is spent on pure gold stores. On 1.6 billion is for two SNR stores, which is really good because you could see that SNR, no matter if it was 40 stores, was actually generating half of the total sales of pure gold. It's like 100 billion, 120 plus 40 equals 160. So the more that you actually continually grow that SNR store, it has the higher margin and gross margin to boost that income for pure gold. Maintenance capex, etc. Take a look at the summary. They're very bullish for 2021 as the economy opens up, given the massive vaccination program starting in third quarter. I'm also bullish in this. The more that people can actually come back to work and have their jobs back, it's possible that their household spending will also increase because mom and dad has better ability to generate work and generate, something to eat and some food to spend. Continues. That's why they are very bullish and aggressively expanding. And marketing plans are to cope with current pandemic and shopper trends, which means that they want to increase their logistics delivery. Sari-Sari store recovery is on track. Joint business plans with major suppliers are in place. Wanted to share a few things why I like Pure Gold. Consistently for about more than 20 years already. It's been highly profitable. That's why their profits were meant to spend in capex. That's why from just one store, they've got onwards of about 500 stores. You know that each store is they're spending 4 billion pesos a year. That means their total assets is now already approximately 100 billion pesos. So durable business, very strong moat. Why is it a very strong moat? It's not easy to spend 100 billion pesos or approximately $2 billion to generate that many stores in so many footprints and being able to deliver it all over Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. I see it more as a logistics delivery network, in which case Pure Gold can actually sell more in terms of delivering it. The more that it transitions to e-commerce, one of the things that made Walmart and Walmart was actually very much able to adapt with Amazon's e-commerce because Walmart already had that footprint, and therefore it can actually deliver it fast. It is even possible, and I would assume that Pure Gold has realized that because it's got so much footprint and e-commerce delivery, partnering with so many suppliers will allow it to actually be a delivery first business, such that some of their sales, they didn't show in their first quarter 2021 how much e-commerce sales have been. But when you actually read results of Kroger, Walmart, Target, these are large supermarket retailers in the US, you are seeing that these companies can always trade at a premium because of these qualities: consistent dividends, large liquidity, strong moat, durable business, highly profitable. Those are enviable things that every long-term investor actually wants in a balanced portfolio. So this is actually a very good video. Paano nagsimula ang Pure Gold? Bakit kulay green ang Pure Gold? You can watch it. This was done by Mr. Actually Sangkay TV. They've actually have so many subscribers and they've got a lot of factoids. This is of course the owner, Mr. Lucio Ko, and it's actually being run by the family but with a lot of corporates as well. So it's a very well professionally run organization. What I like about the business is they keep on growing and the growth is reliant on the following things. Let me explain to you why they want to continue growing. Okay, so
Maraming mga kumpanya
you can actually watch that. We'll try to watch that later on. But these are the primary reasons why you have to understand the necessity of Pure Gold. That's the fact, necessity. This is an average Filipino family, and this came from Republic of the Philippines, National Economic Development Authority. This was 2018. So the average spent on food and non-alcoholic beverages, whether you're buying bigas, that's rice, meat, fish, vegetables, it's about 3,800 pesos. So these are essentials. This is what you eat. You can either go to a palengke or a supermarket, or you go to a marketplace like an Instagram where you're buying it, or you're buying or Viber if you're buying that your groceries there, or a website, or you're buying it actually in a retail store, something similar to a Pure Gold. So I'd say that the online offline channel is now very strong in the Philippines, and I'd say that Pure Gold is very much able with its capex plans, with its ability to expand your footprint. The important thing about e-commerce, succeeding in e-commerce, is the ability to deliver. So ability to deliver has to do with warehouse and footprint and inventory at the end of the day. And that is something that Pure Gold has. So it has cash flows. It can actually become bigger without having to spend so much as long as it has warehouse already. So if your sales in a typical Pure Gold store is just about, let's say, 5 million or 10 million pesos, they have currently about 500 stores, right? 400 Pure Gold generated about 120 billion, which means 120 billion pesos of sales. That means about 400 times 1 million is 400 million. So it's about 30 million. Tama ba? 400 stores times 3 is 1.2 billion. 30 is 12 billion. 300 million. Wow. 300 million pesos of sales is happening in 400 stores. Of one store can generate 300 million pesos of sales. Just think about that. And since they have 40 stores of SNR, which made about 40 billion, one store of SNR can generate 1 billion pesos in sales. So not bad. What you're seeing is that one SNR can do what 3 Pure Gold stores, 3 to 4 Pure Gold stores can generate on average. 300 million pesos sales means that every month you've got about 25 million pesos. That means you've got approximately 1 million pesos of groceries sold. If you're looking at about 4,000 pesos, actually you heard in that slide a while ago that it's about 1,000 pesos per average ticket. If you have 1 million pesos sales a day, that means 1,000 people actually went into shopping in that exact store. If you think about it, owning a business that owns a huge pie of the Philippines is an enviable and a valuable company. So how do you value, example, of Pure Gold? You first have to understand that this is an essential. So 4,000 pesos, 1,000 pesos, those average ticket sizes are important. It has to do with the GDP. Take note, in 2009, actually, it says here that food generated 39%, 44%. Just wanted you to understand that a typical household spends 40%. Even in 2019, e-commerce spending by category, so far, in terms of dollars, food and personal care here is just $127 million for the Philippines. $127 million is roughly about 5-6 billion pesos. And when you compare that with the current sales of Pure Gold supermarkets, about 160 billion is worth $3 billion. that means it's just 4%. Even if this grows 2021 to about 100% higher, that would just be $200 million. $200 million compared to $3 billion. It's not even in the 10% range. Nonetheless, I'd say that a lot of research has said that the current Filipinos, Southeast Asia loves shopping online, exemplified by Shopee and Lazada. And Asia Pacific, in fact, has won the best growth in terms of the world. Euromonitor already said that Philippines, along with Singapore, Southeast Asia in general, Singapore, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, were forecasted to reach $2 trillion of sales by 2025. So when you're saying $2 trillion of sales, it doesn't just include groceries and food. It actually encapsulates everything: clothing, shoes, apparel, everything. So let's assume that Pure Gold can reach at least and generate additional income from this e-commerce in their shopping ally. I'd say that the trajectory for the next 5 years is something that Pure Gold is best to capture. It can actually capture that. I want to show to you a few things happening in the Philippines. No, this is actually Picaru. This is a competition for Pure Gold. These are things to watch out for. Groceries right now is becoming something you can buy food online. Definitely, you can buy it on Shopee, Lazada. Picaru is actually from the Honest Bee crew. So it's actually doing supermarkets, meat, deli, bakery, fresh markets, medicine, pet care. You're seeing that the behavior of Filipinos in general right now is to have things delivered. So they will be with higher margin and less footprint. You can actually just invest a lot in your delivery and have more partners. So you can actually have people, like example, here in Picaru, you can buy restaurant food, baked cheese tart, 40% off in Shakey's items, and have it delivered just as you are shopping your Yakult or your SNR brown sugar, cowhead pure milk. So these are actual partners already of SNR. So that's actually a way to generate the sales. Still, these guys are getting it from SNR's footprint because SNR already has that. I've seen this happen in how JD became the number 2 just simply because of their logistics delivery network. So I'd say that the most valuable part of SNR of Pure Gold is actually their footprint. The fact that they're all across Manila, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, it makes delivery very convenient. And if you actually study all the supermarkets in the world, discount retailers, it tells you why you have to be bullish on Pure Gold. Let me show to you the trajectory of Walmart. Walmart is, of course, the number 1 supermarket retailer, actually all in one, right? Sam's Club actually this is the model of supermarkets of Pure Gold in the Philippines. That's actually Walmart. Guys, if you are aware, actually, if you listed and bought Walmart since IPO, $5,000 is actually more than $75 million. I kid you not. Yes, you heard me right. It's actually a company that lasted since 1960. Talk about the power of compounding. It's actually a 60-year-old company. This was 1970. That was $1, 96 cents, and it's actually $150. What you don't see here, you might just think, oh, it's just 150x. So 5,000 times 150 is just 750,000. Why do you tell me that it's $75 million? It's not actually 150x because Walmart actually had a lot of dividend splits, stock dividends. So what you only see here is the price point, but actually Walmart as a company has been growing because of store count. If you take a look, that's why I tell people actually that Walmart is one of the best capital allocators of the world, the Walton family. Walmart, if I bought during IPO, so that was 1960. Walmart stores was founded in 1962. If you had purchased on 100 shares of Walmart on 1970. That's about 51 years ago. The IPO price was $16.50. Even after stock splits, your $1,650 is about $4.3 million. This article is 2019. I'll show you that 2019, the price of Walmart was here. So here at about $100. So that 4.5, so that's a 5. So that's $7.5 million. So amazing, right? Like your investment of $1,650 is $7.5 million. So 1.5 to 750 $7.5 million. It's about how much is that? $1,500 times 100x, 1,000x. Wait, 1.5 times 1,000 is $1.5 million. So that's a 5,000x investment. So that's correct. $5,000 times 5,000. Go, you go. Okay, so it's just 5,000x. Nilang yung 5,000x. But that's, guys, $7.5 million. Not $75 million, but $7.5 million. Amazing what a $5,000 investment in Walmart did in over 50 years. So why am I discussing that? Because I see that Philippines Puregold, while it might not grow like that, because the sales of Walmart is in the $500 billion mark, $500 billion is a far cry from $3 billion. I have to share to you that this is not only true for Walmart. Take a look at Target. Also the same. Owning supermarkets are actually wonderful long-term investments. This is Target. Also started in 1970s. This was about $1.88. Let's just say $2. It's actually a 100x move. Target transitioned very well, not just selling food and clothing, food, but also clothing, basically everything. So this is also how SM generated so much money. And the thing that the Philippines has to do, SM, Puregold, and even Robinson's Retail, is clearly embrace and love retail spending and love online. That's one of the reasons why Amazon really did well. Amazon Prime shipping. I think that sooner or later, SNR will have a delivery service such that they will get, let's say, a 1,000 in the US, it's about $100 or 5,000 pesos free delivery shipping. So it makes people actually shop more because they know that it's freely delivered. Once you have the logistics network in place for Puregold, I think the only grievance, if I have to make a grievance among the Puregold first quarter 2021 report, is that I wish that they actually spent more. I'm not sure if Puregold stores is the right spending, but maybe spend 1 billion or 2 billion pesos in their logistics fleet. So I really see that they said here already in their growth that they want to spend a lot in improving logistics by building new distribution centers. So I think that this one is where they will spend a lot upon in the next 5 years. Not necessarily in footprint of stores, but how do you deliver? Because the biggest generator of profitability is to deliver those. And I think that Puregold already has what should be understood here is that the current levels of a Puregold. Let me show you the chart of Puregold. You can actually buy, for those people, you can open an account with WealthSec online for about, I think you can open for as little as 25,000 pesos. Take a look. This is a company that started 2012. I'll show to you a larger chart. Let's go to bigcharts.com. This actually listed in the market at 12 pesos. And as you know, since then, it has already tripled 12 to 36. But why do we see value even if it's at 36 pesos? Let's go for Puregold, PH Puregold. Puregold Price Club. Let's take a look at all the years, a decade already. It's gonna mark their one decade by 2022 from listing. So let's go for a bigger chart, guys. Big chart. Draw a chart. Okay. So in 2011 to 2021, so 10 years already, what the chart here does not show is how profitable Pure Gold is. At current level of 35.50, that's actually the same price as the pandemic, near the pandemic lows of 26. It's also near the prices of 2016 and 2015. When you take a look at the PE ratio, it's about 12 pesos. So why is the yield small? It's because they're spending a lot in logistics, which I think is the right thing for Pure Gold to do. Logistics, CapEx, improve that store count for better delivery. So better distribution. Um, and of course, it's a reopening play because when the people actually have a job, they're gonna have to spend on food event eventually. So they will actually be a good way. It's not necessarily obvious for people that it's a high beta play. Actually, it's not a high beta play in reopening because reopening, you always will think about traveling, casinos, flights, airlines. Those are the usual high beta. But Pure Gold is a very resilient company. So stable in recessions, depressions. That's what you like about this company. Okay, the reason why you're seeing 1.27% yield is because every year it pays about 30 cents. So 30 to 40 cents. Okay, in terms of cash divs, it's not really the company that people look at because the company continues to grow. Can you imagine if Pure Gold stopped spending 4 billion pesos and placed that 4 billion pesos and actually giving it to the market? That will make Pure Gold a high cash flow yield company. The only reason, in my view, that Pure Gold isn't doing that is because they can see that they can still grow. And in my view, in the next 5 to 10 years, with e-commerce, it's actually gonna grow better. So market cap, take a look, is actually 100 billion pesos today. You just heard me say a while ago that their sales in a year is 160 billion pesos. And then their income is about 8 billion pesos or roughly 5%. So this is actually a very cheap company. Your price earnings growth is actually less than one. For those who don't know what price earnings growth ratio is, you just simply compute the sales and the growth. It's actually very easy to see. You saw that their price earnings is 12%, and then their price PE ratio is 12, then they're growing actually at 10%. Some people would argue that okay, the PEG is actually higher than one. But you actually have to see as well the market cap versus their sales. This is actually what I usually do, sales versus market cap. Pure Gold does not need debt actually, but they're using debt because they could and because the environment right now is very cheap debt. Their sales is 160. Their market cap is 100 billion. So that tells you that 1.6 versus 160 versus 100. That means that their sales are larger. Usually, when your sales is larger than your market cap, you're actually very cheap. How do I know this? Just compare yourself to the big guys. For Pure Gold, just always look with Walmart, Target. Amazon has so many businesses. That's why it's not easy to compare that apples to apples. When it comes to consumer defensives, discount stores, Walmart here, look at the price to sales ratio, 0.71, actually also cheap. So actually, most of the companies right now in the segment that actually generate so much cash flows are actually cheap. But take a look at the PE. The forward PEs of Walmart is 22 times and 33 times. If you actually study Pure Gold's PE ratio, 12 times is very low considering the growth. So if you have any questions, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Please ask and I'll help you out. So today's just a deep dive. I do think that 35 pesos, 50 cents in Pure Gold is very cheap. Any drops 35 below is actually something that you want to accumulate. We do see this hitting 50 to 70 pesos in the next 1 year or 2 years. So I'd be a buyer. Awesome10X recommends a buy on Pure Gold. And ends our deep dive. Thank you.